Talk, fam. Talk, fam. Exactly. Where the facts be. I'm speaking right here, so don't at me. Whoa.
Welcome to another episode of Don't At Me. Mike Hill and Alex, we're finally back at it. Hopefully you guys are checking out our latest episode with Josiah Johnson. The NBA memes king is really dope, but this one is going to be real fire. Alex, what's up, man?
Ladies and gents, it's good to frickin' be back, man. It's been a minute.
Yeah.
And we'll get to the meat of the story later on down the road. But I had my appendix removed, and man, it's not so much fun. I'll tell you that much. Even the drugs aren't fun. So avoid getting your appendix removed or having appendicitis. That's my recommendation. But we got a lot of sports to talk about, man. It's NFL Sunday.
Hey, NFL Sunday. The season is moving pretty well, man. So
it feels like it just started just yesterday, man.
Hey, I 100% agree. And it's been a quarter of the season done. 4 games has gone by.
Yep.
It's crazy to think that it's went so fast and teams already had bye weeks, which is like
what the hell is this?
Yeah,
like we were just complaining like a couple months ago about how there's literally nothing going on. No NBA, no NFL. That boring sport where you hit a ball with a stick is going on.
Dodgers suck.
Oh yeah. By the way, to all my Dodger fans out there, I want to make this exponentially clear before we go into.
Yep.
I've steadfast said for the last couple of years, Clayton Kershaw is overrated. The man couldn't perform in the playoffs. What the hell happened again? Kershaw got put in and blew it. Clayton Kershaw is a great pitcher. Don't get me wrong. Deserves to be in the Hall of Fame for his regular season antics. But by no means is Clayton Kershaw a Hall of Fame, true Hall of Fame pitcher, I should say. Clayton Kershaw, to me, is the most overrated pitcher in all of baseball. And this only confirms it.
He's a great pitcher. He just isn't a big moment pitcher. I'm trying to see who can we compare him to as far as another sport. That a guy who looks, he's like James Harden almost. He looks great in the regular season, but when the big moments come in the postseason, it doesn't happen. So he's kind of like the James Harden of baseball.
He ain't James Harden yet because James Harden hasn't been to multiple NBA finals. I got to give that's like a slight to James Harden.
He's been to one.
Been to one.
With KD as the best player.
And how many has Kershaw been in World Series wise?
Multiple.
Exactly.
2.
That's why I'm saying. That's a slight to James Harden. To me, you know who Clayton Kershaw is?
Who is he?
Vladimir Radmanovich.
Oh, no.
No, he's not that bad. I won't do that. I won't do that to him. But he's kind of like Ty Lue. He's there for the ride, and it usually never works out with Ty Lue unless you're in Cleveland and somehow manage to come back from 3-1.
3-1, which was a lucky
thing. Like we're not claiming Kershaw's there yet. But the point being, Clayton Kershaw is overrated. This series proved it, and my whole point of the spiel is to say, Dodger fans, I'm sorry, but I told y'all so.
And I really wanted to go to that parade, but forget them. Let's get to this NFL
You mean the
talk.
Angel Parade? Because that's more likely than a Dodger Parade.
Like I tell all baseball fans, I'm an Angel fan, and we brought the last parade to Los Angeles when it comes to baseball. So NFL talk, quarter of the season. Man, it's been. You have some teams that are doing what they're supposed to be doing, and then you have some teams that are kind of surprising. For me, I'm going to take one team. I'm going to say the Buffalo Bills.
These are our surprise teams of the season so far, with the quarter of the NFL season going down.
Yes.
So who's your first?
Buffalo Bills. I just think that no one would expect them to be 4-1.
They didn't even expect to be 4-1.
Really, and their only loss was a 16-10 loss at home against New England, in which the quarterback went down and they didn't play their best ball. So it's just crazy. They're really playing old school football. They're running the ball. I like the rookie there, Singletary, the running back. Their defense is great. They have good corners. They're rushing the passer.
They just have a surprisingly good defense overall for like Buffalo. And that's not me saying Buffalo is accustomed to having shitty defenses. That's just me saying that Buffalo has not been known for the last couple of years to have this type of talent defensively.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden in one season, they're 4-1 so far with a quarterback that people weren't so high on, and their defense is killing it.
Yeah, and they're just playing not to lose and letting their defense do their thing, and they're winning. My other team will be the Green Bay Packers. A lot of people weren't sure, with the coaching change, that how Aaron Rodgers would, do with LaFleur. But, man, they're actually playing really well because the defense is playing top-notch. Like, man, shout out to Jair Alexander at corner. That guy is nice. I call them the Smith brothers coming off the edge, and the Packers are looking really, really tough. With the NFC being really good, their only loss came at home on Thursday night versus the Eagles, which the Eagles looked great that game. It's like it's wide open, and they have a chance, especially if they can have teams have to go through Lambeau to win and make it to the Super Bowl. Man, look out for Aaron Rodgers and the Packers, man. They have a big one Monday. Tomorrow against the Detroit Lions, who's also looking good. Their only loss being to the Chiefs in a very close game, and then somehow they tied with the Cardinals. But
Matt Patricia is really changing the reputation.
Baby
of
Bill,
Belichick's,
Baby Bill
coaching tree. You know what I mean? Like, he's changing that rep though. He really is. Like, we've been accustomed to having these previous coaches from that coaching regime really flounder out everywhere else.
Mark Bland and Rob Parker may actually be able to go to the Detroit game because they may be a playoff team. Oh my God.
So, shout out to Rob Parker and Mark Bland, who are diehard Detroit Lions fans. I'm so sorry for you guys. Actually, shout out to the real Detroit Lions fans who I did not know was a Detroit Lion fan, and that is Ninja, the video gamer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like he plays Fortnite, but he also actually
that's why he has so much time to play the game.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And did you know that that man was used in like interviews for NFL films where they're talking about plays? Like, I'm watching some of the top plays from last season. Yeah, and he's included. And I'm like, look, I get it. Esports, I can respect. I get who you are. You made money. You somehow played with Drake. You're doing all these things. But really,
Ninja. He's not even a real ninja.
No.
And they put him on the TV
Call me
screen.
when you talk to Bruce Lee, or actually no, Jackie Chan in this instance, and get the approval to be referred to as a ninja by them.
If you guys can talk to Bruce Lee, let me know how we can talk to the dead.
Yeah,
it's a few people I want to talk to.
Yeah, shout out to Jimi Hendrix.
Yes.
All right, so now my two teams. I got to go with two teams that pretty much everyone would kind of... I'd like to think people would acknowledge in this instance, and both would be the Seattle Seahawks and the New Orleans Saints for two different reasons entirely. In terms of Seattle, they're 5-1 so far. And I know Pete Carroll and the management behind them, you would expect them year in, year out to be a good team that's always going in and vying to be a contender, right?
True.
But this year, they have so many new faces, both offensively and defensively. Yet defensively, they are amazing, similar to some of these other teams that we've been talking about. They are ranked 5th overall on defense on third down percentage, all right?
Yeah, great.
Seattle is a great team, and their Legion of Boom is gone, and now the Legion of Boom is like, it's like going from Justice League to Young Justice, like Teen Titans style. Like, they're really on the come up.
That's dope.
And also, I'd like to point out on this episode of Who the Fuck They Are, Chris Carson and Jerron Brown have been playing out of their damn minds.
No, Chris Carson, I had him on my fantasy team last year, so I know he has the potential to ball out.
People may know him, but who the fuck was Chris Carson like last year? Like, here I am. Like, shout out to him for making a name for himself and being on the scene.
The only Carson I know is Carson Daly, but this is a dope one.
And okay, so shout out to him and shout out to Jerron Brown. They're both playing out of their minds for them. I think Jerron had 2 touchdowns today for Seattle. By the way, we are doing this live on a Sunday afternoon. Hopefully this goes up later tonight on Sunday. This is Don't At Me with Michael and Alex. Thank you again for tuning in. Check us out on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and on all the other social network sites.
Yeah.
We'll get that at the end. We had to get that in there real quick. And now for my second team, that is the New Orleans Saints. And yes, I know it's pretty obvious.
Big surprise for me, though, just the fact that Drew Brees went down. So you were just hoping that if he were to miss 8 games, that they would at least just go 4-4, something like that.
5-3, something.
Yeah, but they have a chance to win all their games, which is crazy.
And this is where the conundrum for me strikes, is that a couple weeks ago when we did our last episode, I said New Orleans was screwed because they lost Drew Brees.
Yeah.
And I thought, don't get me wrong, I'm all about Teddy Bridgewater. I've said this steadfast for years, that when it comes to guys who are coming back from big injuries, I will be their first supporter overall, because I want to see every dude get paid, win a ring while they're in the league.
Yeah,
that's the most important thing.
Yep.
So Teddy is playing well. Like you said it best at the beginning of the show. You said that he's playing safe. He's playing systematic, which is true. And we looked up the stats, and Teddy's, I believe, at 6-2 in terms of touchdowns to interceptions, and he has 849 yards so far this year. And that's pretty damn good for a guy who was expected to be the backup, and also a guy coming off of a couple of years of being down after multiple injuries.
Yeah, after the knee injury.
This is the comeback story. This is the comeback story of the NFL right now that no one acknowledges. We look at Ryan Shazier, where I'm glad to see him on the sideline. It's great.
Yes.
But this is the dude who actually got screwed by the league, got injured badly, and has now made his way back on a roster playing as a starting QB for a team that has an MVP Hall of Fame QB, and he's leading them to 5-1 so far.
Yeah, he's playing really good ball. He's playing really safe. He's playing pretty much the type of game that's whenever needed. Like last week, he was able to throw a lot of yards and do what he needed to do. Today's game, 13-6 win, just did do enough. That's all it is do enough. In the NFL, you just want to make it to the playoffs because anybody can win. You know,
it's any given Sunday.
So he's doing enough for them, and it will be tough. Just like going to Lambeau, it's always tough to go into New Orleans and win, unless you have the rest on your side, of course. Yeah. Then that always helps because you're pass interference away from winning.
Or if you got the juice.
Yeah, if you got the juice and the game is just killer for you, that you can make anything happen, you know? So, hey, I like your pick. Seattle and Saints are playing really good football right now, and
they're killing it, man.
killing it. And in the NFC, they have a chance, bro. So, really dope picks. But let's talk about your.
Okay, wait. Before we go into this, okay, so. Now we're moving on to another NFL topic. Man. Shout out to the juice, man. The juice is loose. And apparently the juice is loose in New England because my New England Patriots are now sitting atop of the NFL food chain, at 6-0 so far. So, yeah, I mean, you can include the fruit chain if you want. I mean, fruit's delicious. I love bananas. I love my fruits every day. So, anyway, the best team in the NFL by record is the New England Patriots. We've heard from multiple people, including our good friend Rob Parker at FS1, shout out to Rob, that this is the worst 6-0 team ever in the NFL. Now, I'm going to point a couple things out. I want to get this off my chest, Michael.
Mm-hmm.
All right? We're 6-0. All right? Out of the games that we will be playing this season, there are only 5 games that you and I can agree on are facing legitimate opponents / potential contenders. Those teams are the Ravens, Eagles, Cowboys, Texans, and Chiefs, all of which come back to back. Which is
going to be a crazy run.
It's the perfect test for the Pats at this point, given all the talk that's gone on behind them and going on currently. But I want to make something very clear. This team is 6-0 because of the brilliant scheming and systematic changes Bill Belichick has put into place. Sure. We can talk about the schedule being basically 11 games of preseason with 5 games of actual opponents, which I, as a Pats fan, will fully admit that this is the most joke-like schedule I've seen for a team that just is coming off of a Super Bowl.
Yeah, and
expect more.
That's why I think you can't really say that they are the worst 6-0 team. Is because you don't know who they're playing against. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't know how in 10 weeks how good Buffalo really is. You know what I'm saying? So you can't really say that. We just know that the teams they're playing is bad. Steelers, Dolphins, Jets, Redskins, Giants.
The only team that I will give credit for that first game was the Steelers because there was at least Big Ben on the field. Albeit they played badly, you still came in with the guys you needed to play.
33-3 win.
You know?
So
that's a solid.
Yeah,
that's
a solid
start. And not to mention, you have the crazy man, number 17, who came over from, where did he come from? Pittsburgh or Oakland or wherever the hell he is. Now he's in Miami.
Is it Alfonso?
Alfonso Ribeiro, right?
Yeah,
it's not unusual to love anyone.
Antonio Brown. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So Mr. Antonio Brown showed up and did his job for a week, as the Pats would say. Now wants to come back and play for us, but that's a headache for another day. My point being about this whole conversation is that, yes, the Pats have played basically, JV teams when they are a college team right now. They've been doing that consistently. But on the Pats side of things, look, offensively, Josh Gordon's been banged up. We had AB, then we didn't. Julian Edelman's been banged up. We haven't been with N'Keal Harry. Jacoby Myers has been in and out. We haven't really seen much of him. We haven't seen any of Demaryius Thomas, who unfortunately got shipped out right before we ended up landing AB, and now we need a guy like Demaryius Thomas. Look, the Pats are weak offensively, yet we are getting our jobs done week in and week out. Sure, the defense is the best defense in the NFL, and that's because Bill Belichick has taken what he did with Cleveland back in the day and bringing it up to the forefront. Using the run game to justify wins with Brady as a QB while systematically putting in a defensive unit that will hold other teams steady so that just using a run game will pay off at the end of the game and have Brady maybe throw 3 or 4 30-yard plus passes in a game, maybe of which 2 are collected for first downs, and then one of them is an interception or just a drop pass, or another one being, a touchdown pass.
Yeah, people forget that the Patriots won the Super Bowl the exact way that they're playing now. Like, Brady wasn't out there throwing 50 passes. Like, they played really good defense then they just pounded the ball. That's how they were able to go up to Arrowhead and get that win, and then got to the Super Bowl and shut down that great Rams offense and did the exact only time Brady needed to make a big play, he found Gronk to set up a touchdown. So,
and that was to win.
Yeah, they only can play and beat the teams that they have on their schedule. You know what I'm saying? And they're doing that. So much credit to the New England Patriots.
And we also neglect to mention that, like, also in terms of the run game, Sonny has been pretty bad this year.
No, yeah, that's the only thing that worries me is that they're not running as dominant as they were to end the season last year.
Exactly. And thankfully, we have this preseason schedule while NFL's going on, so we can get this up to speed. But we also got to mention that the Pats are trying to get other players. We've heard constantly about their names, and every freaking wide receiver who wants to get moved, they're in on that conversation.
Stephon Diggs,
AJ Green, Tyler Eifert for some damn reason. Then we got a rumor yesterday out of some random station in Florida that Mike Evans wanted out and New England was interested. And it's like, dude,
when your quarterback throw 5 interceptions in a game, I would want out too. Yeah,
yeah. But then you also have on the same breath, like, when your quarterback throws 5 interceptions, but somehow comes back and beats the Rams with a 50-point score, like, do we actually hate him?
Yeah, he's like, man, it's tough. You know, it's crazy because he can play like that. I don't know, man. I don't get it with Jameis, but yeah, man, the Patriots they're just doing what they have to do. You know.
Do you think that this is the best? Do you think that this is the worst 6-0 team ever? Do you agree with Rob Parker? Because I don't.
I can't. Yeah, I can't agree with it just because we don't really know. They haven't really played any like tough matchups to really see. That's why that 5-week span when they play all those teams that are, like, I believe all of them are 2 games over 500.
Yep.
You know, and they even have the Browns before that. And, you know, the Browns, you never know what you're going to get.
You're either going to get shit or you're going to get Brown.
A great game, yeah. So it's the Patriots, we just have to see, you know. Because if they go in with those 5 tough games and they lose 3 of them, 4 of them, then you're going to be like, oh, they're not the same. If they go and win 4, you know, go 4-1, hey, they're doing their job. So it's gonna be a great run the rest of the season.
Man. Yeah, I'm excited, but you know what I'm even more excited for? Only a couple weeks till the return of the association.
The season is coming. The season is coming. It's gonna be great.
Oh, man.
Hey, write this down, somebody. This will be the greatest NBA season ever. Because this is the first time there's no clear-cut favorite. So everybody is going to need to play during the season because home court is going to mean something more. Last year it didn't matter because Warriors were the best team.
Yep.
And the East it did because you didn't know, you know. But now for both conferences, it's like we need home court, you know. For the Lakers, the Clippers, if the Lakers or Clippers are number 1, if you're one of them, you're not tripping because it's like it's still a home game anyway.
Wait, you guys play here?
Yeah.
You guys play here?
Yeah. It's like that Spider-Man meme.
Yeah, like, wait.
Yeah. So, hey, it's going to be a really, really great season. And everybody's been talking about the big-time names, AD, KD, Kyrie, all these guys who has moved teams. You know Kyrie. It's Kemba Walker, who's who's with a new team. But we're going to do something different because we are Don't At Me, and we are the best at what we do.
We talking about Kyrie?
Yeah.
We really talking about Kyrie?
Don't do that because if the Nets win the championship next year, you're going to be like, oh, yeah, we
starting the season
Kyrie
with an injured Kyrie Irving and no Kevin Durant. Congrats, Brooklyn.
Hey, they're going to be tough.
I was a low-key Brooklyn fan before they got these guys.
Brooklyn! I love Brooklyn. Rest in peace, Biggie Smalls. Just to throw that out there. But, yeah, so everybody's talking about the big names, but let's talk about some big-time or some free agents that people aren't really talking about that may have a chance to have a really good year or maybe even really help their team go over the top. So we're going to trade. We're going to go one by one. So I'm going to start mine with former MVP. When you can sign any former MVP is big time. And Derrick Rose with the Detroit Pistons. He's over there with Blake Griffin, Drummond. He's going to have a chance to play. They were a playoff team last year. With Reggie Jackson, a guy who's often injured, you never know if Rose can just fully come in and take that starting spot.
Oh, dude, he's going to take that starting spot
from that guy.
If not, they'll run a 2-guard set with Reggie at shooting guard possibly.
Yeah,
like they did in OKC.
I think that D Rose is going to have a good chance to put up some really great numbers. Like, it's not going to be MVP or anything like that.
No, but like 18 plus a game is still a solid input.
17, I think anywhere from 16 to 19 points a game, you know, especially if he stays healthy, with Blake Griffin getting a lot of attention, with Drummond there to throw lobs to at the rim. Man, I think D Rose is going to surprise. Who's your number 1 guy?
Oh man, my number one guy.
Who's the first guy?
The first guy that came to mind when we talked about this topic actually is the most intriguing for me, and that is a big man who decided to leave Utah and join what is going to be the New Orleans Lakers, and that is Derek Favors joining New Orleans. And to me, Derek Favors represents a mixture of the old school style center with the new school style. You know, he's not really clear cut in between as to what he really is. He's kind of like
he would be a power forward in the 2000s.
Yeah, and he's like a tweener because he has that ability and the motor to do it.
True.
And him playing alongside Zion, playing alongside BI and Lonzo, and then as point guard, they're going to be having Drew Holiday, who I always loved Drew Holiday. I think he's never gotten the respect that he deserves, even when he was with Philly for those years that he was coming up. But I think that Derek Favors, not just as an individual player, but as a team, he's going to have a massive effect for them. He's going to play a very big role in Jackson Hayes' development for that backup center. He's going to help a lot with Zion down low in the paint because Zion's going to be playing power forward. I mean, he's going to be the undersized, oversized power forward for them.
6'6".
Yeah, but also like hulking around in the paint, like Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
So having Derek Favors there is going to take a lot of the responsibilities that Zion would normally experience as a power forward in the NBA away from him. And having a guy that can teach him how to play that key defense as a low post player.
Yeah, because Favors is pretty solid.
Yeah, so to me, Derek Favors is going to have a great season, not just because he's going to be able to help these other guys as a, like a mentor in a sense.
Yeah, he's the veteran.
Also, offensively, he is their veteran and has come from a system in Utah where he wasn't the first, second, or third guy.
So he's in a role to where he's used to it.
He's used to it, and he'll be able to take that veteran leadership role and take more of an offensive load and defensive load so that guys like Zion, some of these other cats on the roster also don't feel that pressure.
Yeah, true.
That's why I definitely think Favors is going to have one of the best years that we don't recognize.
Yeah. And I agree. I think that team has a chance to break into the playoffs because they have so much young talent, and then you mix in the veterans. And
bro, they can't
Alvin
miss
Gentry,
the playoffs.
people forget that he's a really good coach.
They can't miss it. You know why?
Why?
JJ Redick.
JJ Redick? Oh, yeah, they can't.
He has not missed the playoffs yet. JJ is going to the playoffs
the
again.
West is stacked. Oh, so many really good teams. But to go to my second guy, I think Al Horford is a name that people aren't saying enough. He's going to Philly to where the game of basketball is starting to rotate backwards as it usually does, to where it's not going to be about shooting threes, it's going to be about size and things like that. And you add Horford next to Embiid and even Simmons with him being a big 6'9", 6'10" point guard. I just think that he's going to allow them to give Embiid rest because when they want to play some small ball, they can get Embiid out and put Horford as the 5. And then when they're playing on the court together, they both can shoot threes and they both can score in a post. So it's like interchangeable. And, he's going to have a fire because he's like, I couldn't win in Boston, so I got to do it in Philly. I have these two all-star guys, Tobias, Josh Richardson. And I think that Horford is going to be a really great piece for them. That's why I have Philly going to the finals. So Al Horford, look out for him in 76ers.
The only thing I will say about Al Horford is there is nothing bad to say about Al Horford.
Yeah, facts. Yeah.
From both just a player standpoint and also personally. Al Horford is just a good all-around person. He's the best passing big man in the game. Yes,
I heard he loves Pornhub, though.
I mean, if he does, great. I love Al Horford regardless, man. Shout out to him, his beautiful wife, and their family. I love you guys. Thank you for what you did to Boston.
I'm joking, everyone. I don't know.
Yeah, see, I tried to make it PG for that one. I'm not touching a man's family on that one.
Yeah,
but
I'm joking.
Al Horford is one of the best passing big men in the game, if not the best. He's also one of the best guys you can have on your roster.
Great teammate.
Yeah, great teammate. Offensively, he's always sound. He's probably going to have that usual 16 to 18 points per game, 8 rebounds, 4 or 5 assists, 1 steal. But even if he's less with that, he's going to give them a leader that they haven't had. Like last year they had Jimmy Butler. He's clearly not that guy. And JJ.
Yeah, and JJ, JJ isn't a former all-star like Horford. Horford for a minute you can say was the face of the Celtics. Maybe not the best player, but he was the heart and soul. Yeah, he was the face of the Hawks with Joe Johnson. So I just think that it's going to be, man, it's going to be big time for them. Yeah. So
I'm
who's your second guy?
I got to take a moment. Just remember this roster. We're not talking about Jeff Teague's Hawks. We're talking about Bibby, Johnson, Josh Smith,
Marvin Williams,
Al Horford, and who else do they have? They had Mike
Lou
Woodson
Williams
as their head coach.
Yeah, Lou off the bench.
They still had.
Did they have Carroll?
No, Carroll was a little bit later, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Damari was a little bit later. Who else did they have coming off the bench? That was a fun team to watch.
No, yeah.
Key.
Remember they had the best record in the league. Kirk Heinrich. There we go.
There we go. Wait, no, he was with Chicago during that time. Then he ended up there later.
Yeah. But yeah, that was an exciting team to watch.
All right. So my second guy with no more time taken is a guy that actually didn't move. So that's why I said I might be going out on a limb on this one and towing the line. But the guy I think who's going to be most improved player of the year again, basically, or should be 2 times in a row, is Pascal Siakam.
No, yeah.
He is going to benefit wholeheartedly from Kawhi leaving. The responsibility falls on him. But the second guy that we now get to actually see take some of that responsibility away from Siakam is OG Anunoby.
Yeah, OG. Yeah, I like him. His name is great, too.
Yeah, no, OG Anunoby. Like, fuck, man. If I could just have your name, I'd be fucking making millions.
What's up, OG? And that's his name. So
yo, OG, what's good?
Yeah, so that's really dope. But yeah, that's a great pick.
He's going to have a breakout year. Like, this is the year I think we see Siakam average like 23, 24 points a game. I think he's going to have a breakout season, and it's going to change the culture of the Raptors moving forward. They're going to be able to see the potential 1-2 punch of OG and him together. And they still have Serge. They still have Marc Gasol, so they have veteran leadership. They still got Van Vliet, and they got Norman Powell, who I love. I think he's very underrated. This Raptors squad
they're going to
be
be better than what people think. They're going to be really solid. They're going to be a top 5 team in the Eastern Conference.
I agree with that wholeheartedly.
So you got to look out for that. But before we get up out of here, we just want to give some shout outs, man. We got to give shout outs. Shout out to the
first one.
Yeah, shout out to Q Rich and Darius Miles. For you guys who don't know,
Q.
They have a dope podcast show sponsored by Hennessy, which I love.
Never stop.
Called The Knuckleheads, where they were able to have, so far I know lately they had Kobe there, Gilbert Arenas, Ron Artest. So hey, they are killing it right now.
One of the best podcast shows you can actually
other than our show, that would be number 2.
And you can't don't at me on that.
Yeah.
Shout out to Q Rich, shout out to Darius. You guys are killing it right now.
Keep doing it.
We got to give another shout out to our good buddy Robbie from Beverly Hills Barber 90210. If you guys are looking to ever get a haircut in the Beverly Hills, Los Angeles area, hit my guy Robbie up. He does great cuts. You guys will see a couple of videos of the stuff he's done for me as of late, but he's a good friend of the show. We wanted to give him a nice shout out. So please check him out on Instagram. It's at Barber90210. Yes, Barber90210. It's a pretty fly name. So please check him out. We also got to give another warm shout out to our youngin,
Brett the Hitman.
There we go. Brett Marquardt, the man behind one of the craziest graphic channels on Instagram, that is at Basketball Studios. He keeps killing it. Brett's probably going to be coming out here in another couple months soon again, so we'll get to take young blood around. He still can't drink legally because he's underage, but man, he still kills it. So give him a follow on Instagram at Basketball Studios.
Yep. Shout out to Hoops Nation with the basketball season coming. You know they're going to have a lot of more great content, a lot of craziness on there. Buster out there doing your thing, man. So, hey, Hoops Nation. I know a lot of you guys follow them, but if you don't, make sure you give them a follow. They're pretty dope.
Same thing with our good buddy Elliot from Bounce. Bounce puts out a lot of great basketball content. Honestly, live stats, updates, crazy dunks from the in-game stuff, and even stuff that you wouldn't necessarily see on the basketball court that relate to basketball activities. Please give him a nice check out on Instagram.
Hey, and shout out to the one and only, the truth, Paul Pierce, Mr. Inglewood.
Tony, get that shot. Tony, get that shot.
42nd birthday, man. It's a great thing, especially for an African-American male who comes from Los Angeles County, where so much craziness went on here from the 80s, 90s to 2000s. And to be a great NBA player, which he turned out to be, even though he did beat my Lakers. Man, happy birthday to the guy. We were able to do a show with him, with our other show, Courtside Radio. And, man, the guy's a legend, a cool dude. So, happy birthday to Paul Pierce.
42 years, man. 42 years young.
Hey,
I got to take a moment.
Favorite moment. What's your favorite Paul Pierce moment?
Oh, man. I can't narrow it down to one.
Pick one.
No,
two. We go
I'm
two.
with two.
Two is fine.
And this is how you know I'm a real Celtic fan. My favorite moment was when he came back to Boston on that final game with the Clippers, and he hit that 3. I was praying to God, just let this man get one shot. I know Doc's going to give him his moment to shine because Doc has love for the city. He got that chip with us. Just give us that one moment. And then literally I'm watching him go down court. Isaiah is guarding him, so you know that he's going to get space and going to have an easy shot. And I'm thinking to myself,
hey, man, don't talk about short guys like that.
Please let him have it. Bro, come on. It's Paul Pierce versus Isaiah Thomas. That's like Earl Boykins versus Yao Ming. It ain't working out for him.
Yeah.
But Paul knocks in the shot, and all you hear, the one thing I've wanted to hear since he left Boston, that moment where he picked up the trophy, and I can physically picture myself sitting on the couch with the TV on the wall.
So you almost had an orgasm for this moment.
No, I'm sitting there with my mom too, who's going like insane. My sisters are there, and I'm watching Pierce, and I can still see it, the camera angle of him from behind, looking into the audience, holding up the trophy with tears in his eyes, and like, come on, man,
big time moment.
That's to me, that's Boston.
Yeah, my moment is just short and sweet. How he was looking at Al Harrington in the face.
Oh my God, yes.
And tell him like, I'm about to get this bucket, and the pull up three is probably the truth, man. So that guy, but man, we've been dealing with it a lot. Reason why we kind of had a break because of my buddy here and his health issues. So make sure you guys take care of your health and be there for your friends because you never know what can happen. So tell everybody what happened, sir.
I got my appendix removed because I had a severe case of appendicitis, but not the normal type. I had what's referred to, and I'm probably mispronouncing this, and it's called granulomatous appendicitis, where the appendix actually doesn't burst. It just grows a lot of bumps all over it and gets really uncomfortable. So I had my appendix removed. I've been in recovery, and now I'm back. And guys, that's really it. That was all you guys stayed around for. So thank you again for tuning into this episode of Don't At Me with Michael and Alex. Guys, I'll give us the socials real quick because I'll do it like radio style. So don't forget to check us out on YouTube at Alexander Himes. Don't forget to like and subscribe as well to the videos because we love what we're doing here. Don't forget to check us out on Instagram at HimesWorld, HymesWorld, and at Michael the PG on Instagram, and Alexander Himes on Facebook, and Alexander_Himes on Twitter. Michael.
Michael the PG, Instagram, Twitter, Michael Matthew on Facebook. We thank you guys for tuning in to another great episode of Don't At Me.
Pornhub, we love you.
Hey, Pornhub, we need that. We are out of here.
Talk fam, exactly, where the facts be. I'm speaking right here, so don't at me, whoa.